Hello, everybody. It is us, the crew.
It is we.
It is we, the crew, back again. Oh wait, you can't see me.
John Cena.
Now you should. Okay, there we go. It is us, the crew, back again. You can't see me, John Cena. We are a group known as Long Strange Cantrip. We're playing a campaign of the Curse of Strahd in Dungeons & Dragons 5e with modifications with the 2024 rules. Also, our Curse of Strahd campaign is taking place in a world very much like our own, a historical setting. Our own world is Earth. The year is 2024. And just in case... For us. And in case of multi-dimensional viewing possibilities, one thing to sort of lock you in here is that there was a Beavis and Butthead sort of reboot that happened very quietly.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. We watched a few episodes. Too quietly.
Me.
Yeah. A little too quietly, if you ask me.
I don't know. Some things should stay
And they're
dead.
eating the dogs.
Suspicious.
Oh, and they're eating the dogs here.
Yeah.
They used to do that only in other places.
Now they're doing it here.
And now they do it here. And someone is really going to do something about that. But before we get started, first we'll go around the table and do some introductions. I am Eugene, the Dungeon Master for this campaign, and my pronouns are he, him.
I am Alec, he, him, and I am playing Eric, the sad boy psionicist.
Using Max Colville and MCDM's
the talent
class.
Special.
That's right.
I almost wanted to say homebrew, but how third-party brew?
It's in a lot of homes by now, I think.
Sure.
I would say craft brew.
Does that make it more of a homebrew?
Yeah.
It's
Home
a
Craft
brews?
class. It's a craft
Yeah.
class.
The homiest brew.
Yes.
I'm Li Shen. I play Lady Lan. And this is Bartholomew. Oh, and my pronouns are she, her.
And Bartholomew.
He, they.
It also.
Bartholomew's a stuffed animal.
How dare you?
I don't,
Bartholomew sort of rejects.
am I supposed to go? I don't want to interrupt Bartholomew's time.
Please, you may
You
reclaim
go.
your time.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm playing Father Esquivel, a skittish and secretive Catholic priest. And my pronouns are he, him.
Hey folks, I am Lore. My pronouns are they, them, he, him, and fey, fair. I am playing Rowan Domnalik, a Circle of Stars druid.
Very cool. To learn a little bit more about these characters, and after which we will do a little housekeeping because we leveled up last time. We have a very fun video.
Not much is known about the sharp-featured androgynous figure come to Barovia in a high-coloured violet coat with closely shorn hair. Rowan Domnalik makes himself of use to the nobles they travel with, entertaining with a classic tune and his high ethereal voice, not to mention a good bit of gossip with the ladies of the court. Rowan may well imitate the aloof manner of a courtier, but just beneath a practiced facade of calm rages a great anger. And there's something else about them too, something unsettling, ancient, and cold.
Father Esquivel is an ordained priest, sent far from home on missionary work. Though his vestments are threadbare, his hygiene limited, and his ecclesiastical knowledge a bit lacking, he is empathetic and friendly enough. He's on the younger side for a priest, but whatever his life before the cloth, it must weigh on him heavily, for physically he seems aged well beyond his years. He claims to be happy in company and sharing the difficulties of the road, but you might get the sense his smile is feigned.
Even while petting her ornery pet Pekingese Monto, Lady Lan never smiles.
a severe Chinese lady dressed in elaborate silks and other finery. Lady Lan never seems to have a hair or jewel out of place. Despite having traveled many months through the deserts of the Silk Road and faced all manner of challenges, you will never see her with a smudge in her makeup. And yet, anyone who spends enough time with her will notice an anger glimmering behind this otherwise impenetrable exterior. Something must give.
Erik von Eggenberg is a pale young boy, his skin almost translucent in the dim light. His eyes, the color of a stormy sea, hold a lifetime of unspoken sorrows, fixed upon the arabesques of the moldering wallpaper, seeking patterns that do not exist. His hair, a messy jet black patch, appears to be thinning. He moves with the jerky grace of a puppet, his limbs seemingly not entirely his own. Clutched firmly in his hand is a ruby brooch, a glimmer of hope in a life filled with darkness. Whispers follow him, telling of a noble lineage abandoned, a sinister apprenticeship, and a mysterious benefactor offering salvation in a distant land. There is an unsettling aura that surrounds him, a disquiet that hints at secrets best left undisturbed.
She also has like the noble.
We're back. Hello, everybody.
Yay! Whoa!
I think the first thing we ought to do is roll up our level 3 hit points,
Oh boy.
because
This is lower than what like D&D Beyond Gaming just normally. I'm like, man.
This is. I mean, I can understand that.
Can you?
Yeah, I can understand why you would be mad. Surely. Okay,
Wait, so what am I rolling?
let's go with Father Esquivel first. Well, it
Depends
depends
on your class.
Yeah. Whatever
I
your
get
class
a
says.
1d6 plus my
Did you get a 1 on your
constitution.
die?
I did not. I got a 3 on my die. So,
Okay, plus con, which is.
plus 2, so 5 additional.
My con is 2.
Okay.
Plus
well,
6!
Hey, look at that. So you got
8.
8. You got.
A much
5.
needed 8.
Yeah, that's going to be helpful for a squishy character like you.
Now it's a clean 20.
I should roll.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I thought that's why you were staring
Wow.
at me.
Yep.
Can't believe it.
I was miles away, but
Can't believe
I should
it.
roll.
Lots of grunts
Hold on,
and sighs.
that's a D10. That's not what my hit dice is.
Oh wait,
is
hold
8,
on.
right?
Hit points.
Yeah.
Hit points at higher levels: 1 d12 or 7 plus my
4,
Constitution.
which-
So which is higher?
Oh, you'd roll a D12.
D12.
At this point.
Yeah.
That's your starting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, go away.
Oh, because it's like I'm not yet. All right, fine.
You might roll a 12.
So I would have
Yeah, you might do great.
24.
I rolled a 10.
Yeah!
Okay, so I gotta.
And that's plus constitution, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus
That's great.
Constitution.
So 12.
So 12.
So
Times 3.
12.
Is that how that works?
You add 12.
Yes.
Or is it 10 times 3 plus 2? Or is it?
No, there's no times 3.
Yeah, you just add it to what you had before.
Oh, I see. Okay, good question.
There we go. Thanks.
23 plus
Right.
12. Okay, I see.
Well, that's great. That's a good score. Good, respectable score. Is it not?
Yes.
Okay. So we've all got new hit points. We're ready to embark further on this adventure here. I think with that, we can do a little recap of last week's adventure and the adventure so far. So you all met on the outskirts of Barovia, born there for different reasons, some shared with the group, although how trustworthy you are remains to be seen. You found yourselves escorted by some locals who took your things after spending a night outside of the gates of Barovia. and made off, seemingly into the woods beyond the gates. They told you a little bit about the lay of the land, but without horses and without carts, you were left essentially stumbling in the dark after being chased inside by a gang of wolves. Once within Barovia, it was difficult to find your way through the mists, and yet as it started to rain, you did manage to find one house waiting there in the impenetrable fog for you, beckoning you with some lights hanging outside.
Jerk house.
As you made your way in to the jerk house, you discovered that it was not a place of solace as you had hoped, but instead a place where death and extreme discomfort awaited you. There was living armor, possessed furniture and cutlery, all kinds of grotesque appendages, and you soon found out that the history of the house was rather sordid. The Durst family, to whom it belonged, had gotten into a family dispute that ended up being much more than that. There was a...
That's an understatement.
An understatement. There was a death cult, a horrific murder on the nanny who had borne a son, and that son is what you ultimately faced in the basement in a ghastly, grotesque form. After defeating Walter, Lady Durst showed up, and in her ghostly manifestation began to bring the whole manor down. You barely escaped with your lives and watched the house be swallowed up by the earth, after which the once living children of the house, now traveling with and indeed inside of you, guided you to a lonely tower, a short walk nearby, where you were able to get a bit of sleep and gave them in the morning a proper burial. Now you are awakened, no sun once again in the sky, just slate gray, damp, dewy, slightly cold. It is October 9th. As you awaken to this morning, you can see the road a little bit down the hill in front of you. As far as you understand, the gates of Barovia are behind you, and ahead along the road is a town you were told about a day's walk. There seem to be thick woods between you and there, and as you noticed before, peering deep enough into the woods in any direction, you see a thick, choking mist. The air smells of grass and a little bit of buckwheat as you think about what your next move is. So, what would you like to do?
I'm just a little boy.
Well, shall we move on down the road, try to find this village?
I
Yes.
think
Walk
that's
for a
a
day.
fine idea.
I don't think we'll get far in this fog.
I think that is
Don't
the
think we'll get
only
far
course of
before
action.
what?
We die.
All right then.
I might have phrased that a little more comfortingly.
That's not that scary.
I mean, you're
To die.
no wrong. No.
Could be
After
could be
what we
better.
have faced.
But
This
could
child.
be worse.
Yeah.
I think I saw tentacles and such in the mist when we were back in the Durst home. I'd rather not find out what exactly that's about, if
I do
that's gone with
suppose
Walter or not.
fighting the reanimated form of a half-born child that manifested as a pile of trash, debris, and unholy flesh has sort of recontextualized my expectations for what is
For the hospitality
the
of
ho-
Barovia.
how comforting we can possibly be. So I take back my comment. I think you phrased it in a perfectly
Tonally appropriate. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything you can say that would scare me more than what's gone
Kind
on.
of look like you've been through a lot, if you'll forgive my saying so.
No, it's let's go.
What a brave boy.
As we kind of start walking, I will kind of keep an eye on the path for any herbs, since I had an herbalism kit and that was stolen along with all my things and my dog. I will look around, for signs of Monto, my dog, but also in case there was any herbs and things that I might be able to repurpose for, poisons and such.
What in particular are you looking for?
Things to make poisons.
Okay. You can roll a perception check, and I'll let you know if anything comes up based on that.
Okay. $15.
Okay. As you go on throughout the day, about once every 2 hours, you'll notice a patch of helpful herbs, and throughout them, I think you can gather enough to, once you have an herbalism kit again, make 2 or 3 basic concoctions. Which direction are you headed?
Well, you said down the hill.
Towards the town that we heard about, yeah?
Yeah.
There was a road or a path to the town, right?
Yes. So there is a big road going through the woods. You're traveling about an hour, maybe 2. It's hard to tell because the light doesn't really change. In the meantime, Rowan, what's on your mind?
I think Rowan is looking back on the events that just happened, thinking about how pronounced everybody else's reactions were to what they saw, and how maybe he should have, put on a little more of a facade and tried to appear more alarmed. If they may have given something away, because of the way they reacted to things. But yeah, I think they probably try to push those thoughts out and decide to conjure their fluffy wild companion. If I may. Thank you, 2024 rules. Druids get familiars now. It's
So,
tight.
what does that kind of look like? I imagine this is something Rowan has been doing for a while.
Yeah, I think so. I think they've had... it's not actually an animal. It's a... in Rowan's case, it would be a celestial spirit that takes the form of an animal. So I think... I think this really fluffy, large, tabby cat just very calmly walks out of the mist and sits down in front of the path and looks up and is like, ow.
How does Rowan react?
They walk right up to the cat and kind of just put their hand out and let the cat sniff their hand. The cat,
Are we sure that's a good idea?
Well, so the three of
It's fine,
you,
I know them.
as soon as Father Esquivel says this, you are taken aback because while you're used to summoning this companion, this familiar, you've never...
Not in front of us.
Nobody has ever seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
You're the only one who can see it, typically.
Oh, shit, I see. Oh, okay. You can... Do you see a cat?
Yes.
Yes.
Huh. That's new.
Huh.
Well, I suppose everyone...
Are there cats that I can't see?
I don't know, maybe.
Your druidic
one's-
culture, do you take certain natural remedies or experiment with mushrooms you might have found?
I mean, does a bear shit in the woods? I'm
I'm
druid, I
fairly
can
sure
tell you
they do.
I just... In the future, I guess just maybe we assume that if something appears, we all see it. And then... No, as I'm saying this...
Yeah, I don't know if
It
you
might
can...
not be the worst idea for us to keep, kind of checking in
A
on that
constant
with one
dialogue
another.
about
yeah.
what we're looking at.
There's a
What
thick
you can
fog.
and can't see. Yeah.
And this one, their name is Morrigan. They can help with that.
Oregon.
I still do not see my dog.
I've got the wolves of Rosenthorn going. Calm down, calm down.
Does Morrigan understand us when we speak?
They understand me. Don't know about you.
Morrigan, can you hear me?
Morgan turns and just stares.
I see. They're
Blink,
still,
blink.
still a cat, then.
But they know their name.
They stick their back leg out and start licking themselves. I'm like, yeah, I think they're fine. I don't,
Morrigan or Morgan?
Morrigan.
Got it.
Morrigan. Okay.
Very good cat name. Morrigan turns suddenly and seems to catch a scent on the air. It goes forward into the mist in front of you. Do you follow?
Yeah. There's come back now. I don't want you to run off.
Now that may not be wise.
Out off the path, off the road?
Into the path, but farther in front than you can see. The mist parts before you as you walk forward and closes behind you as you advance. So as you follow Morgan, you see that they've taken a few steps forward, then a few more, and they're sniffing at a lump at the bottom of a tree, about 30 paces ahead.
Probably go see what that is.
Right by the road.
Yeah, I'll go over and check it out. What would you
Wait.
What'd you find there?
Lady Lon kind of reaches. Lady Lon's still on the path, but Lady Lon reaches out and hands you the dart part of the dart. So I'm holding the string and I'm giving you the dart.
Oh, got it. Okay. Thank you. Right. Okay. Let's see what's going on here.
The shape is lumpy under a dark, soiled, bramble-rent cloak. You think it's a human body.
Can we just leave this person to their sleep?
I'm gonna search the body.
Yeah, I'm with Eric on this.
I'm still on the path, so I'm just
It's-
what's going
Tell us
on over
something.
there?
It's pretty close to the path. Maybe 10 steps off the
Oh,
path.
okay, all right.
Once I get an idea of the shape,
my dart back.
I'm going in.
Well, you pull the cloak off. It looks relatively fresh in your professional experience, a few days old. It's a young man, no more than 30. Handsome, albeit dirtied and marred by whatever experience he's gone through, a period of harsh struggle against the elements in this forest.
I'm going to search his pockets and see if he has anything on him at all. Under his clothes,
Yeah, you
a whole frisk.
sort of lay, I think, kind of clinically, you lay the corpse out and begin to essentially strip it.
Yeah.
Roll a medicine check with advantage.
Guidance also. on
Great.
medicine.
That's a D4?
Yes.
Oh, you said with advantage, thank God. 14. Wait, plus intelligence, yeah?
Yes.
18.
So you don't see any visible wounds other than just scratches. You believe that he died of exhaustion. In his hand, you find an old tarnished copper. Would you know what a compass is?
No.
An old tarnished copper thing.
I hold it up to these guys.
And there's a little vibrating piece of metal inside.
Oh.
A compass.
Compass.
Here.
Useful.
I don't want it.
You as you grab the compass, you notice that the needle is trembling, even when held still.
In the way that compasses do.
Or
No, even when you're holding it perfectly still, it's shaking slightly more.
I know what you're getting at.
Wait, what are you getting at?
Compasses,
Well-
they never really.
Yeah, the compasses are always because they have to be
Especially if
so
you're holding
loose,
it.
It's
Yeah.
always kind of like going like.
It's going to be hard to get it completely still.
It's going
It's the
at
Boy Scout knowledge.
30,
It's coming out.
30
Do you know what a
degree
compass is,
Okay.
Eugene?
change.
That's significant.
Oh, okay. So it's
It's moving.
It's swinging.
Yeah. You also notice that the hand of this body is splayed out in the direction of a nearby tree, and glancing at it, you see 13 tally marks and an arrow pointing deeper into the woods.
Can I tell, what kind of instrument made these tally marks? Is it like a dagger, a knife, or something like that?
You think a dagger
Okay.
or a knife.
And
A sharp thing.
Yeah. And then you said an arrow? I'm sorry, pointing? Something's pointing?
And an arrow that is pointing deeper into the woods, kind of along, what are those things called? Desired paths?
Yeah, desire path.
Kind of along a desired path.
I don't know what that means.
It's like the kind of path that happens when people walk along
Oh,
it
sure.
frequently.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
sidewalk that does an L, there will be a desire path.
Right.
Like along the hypotenuse.
Got it.
Yeah.
Feels like that there may be 13 of something that way. Or there were 13 of something that way.
It's not at all an ominous number.
where if I hold the
Because of
compass.
Taylor Swift.
Is it? I know you said it was like wavering back and forth in a way that compasses should not ordinarily do. But is there does the general direction in which the compass is pointing match the direction of the arrow?
It doesn't match the direction of the arrow.
Okay, so we can presume at this point that it's trying to do north.
It's
and
trying to do north.
not,
Something is preventing it.
Yeah. And then this is something. I'm not sure why this young man would choose to die here if there's an arrow right nearby pointing towards something clearly indicating a place with human presence of some kind, because why else would you mark it with an arrow? Unless arrows occur naturally here? Oh.
Well, first of all, I based on the body, I don't think he chose to die. Second of all, I don't know. There's I don't have really any reason to think that there's any necessarily humans that way. There's 13 of something that's worth writing down. So, if I were someone who's about to die in an unknown place, I might put down how many dangerous things there were. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's like there's 13 cute puppies that way. I think it's, you know,
Unlikely.
cursed specters or, you know, just based on past experience.
Well, I wonder how far we'd need to go to see. Or whether
Why should we deviate from the path? We should go into town.
You have a good point.
Well, I mean, our one contact with what we presumed to be civilization or other people turned out to be a house that wanted to murder us.
Don't
So
forget
who's
about...
to say town is better than 13 in the woods?
Well, I think you are forgetting about the people that we met who stole all of our belongings and probably killed the nobles I was traveling with.
Wouldn't they need to have some way to keep track of where they were going? Maybe they left.
I assume they know more about this whole thing than we do.
They could be in the village.
This is true.
Yeah.
Are you saying you think they may be the ones, these 13?
Maybe.
Can you send more again?
Yeah, I can. You know, not very far in front of us, but I do. One of the things that Morgan and I can do is I can see through her eyes at a certain distance. So we can send her out ahead, but she can't get very far ahead, or I lose the connection.
What's the distance?
100 feet.
Hey,
I mean, that's pretty good.
It's not nothing.
will the fog
I
clear
don't-
for Morgan?
I don't suppose we want to give Morgan one of your teeth.
Yeah, how do I attach it?
Could
Like on a little string.
She's got like a little gap in her mouth. And you can just,
Yeah.
Does Morgan have any, like
Missing.
a collar or something?
Well, it's like it works like a snap-in grill.
I mean, I can take out my fingernail too.
That's
do your for the record, do your fingernails come off that easily?
Hey, listen, I've been having a lot of problems recently with my teeth and my fingernails and headaches and my hair falling out. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to find help. I'm trying to find a cure. So, anyway,
When we
let's
get
go
to
back
town,
to
I will
talking
make
about
you
the cat.
I will make you some tea.
Thank you. That sounds good.
Are you gonna like run out of fingernails at some point for this, or?
It seems to grow back in the morning.
Oh, that's handy.
And the teeth?
Yeah, not the hair. But everything else.
You are quite a sad boy. I'm sorry.
Can't argue.
I don't mean to laugh, but
Can't
I don't
argue.
know what else to do.
I trust the cat to be the scout.
Well,
All right.
Suppose we sort of lack a lot of knowledge right now as to where we are and where other things are. So I'm of the opinion we might want to investigate any kind of sign or indication that anything is around? It seems
We
hard
are-
to get anywhere.
We are
in this
looking for
mist.
a lost dog also.
That is true.
Yeah.
And any chance to have revenge against those fiends.
That sounds nice.
If we're heading to a village to get information, there's really no guarantee that we'll ever get there. So I feel like it makes sense to me to try to find anything out that we can on our way there. So yeah, I will send drop down and give Morgan a little scritch on top of their head. Just kind of send them off into the woods, point in the direction of the arrow, and, tell them, all right, tread very carefully, very lightly. This is like no place that I have ever been before. It's very, very dangerous, and I want you to be safe. And I give them a little kiss on their soft kitty forehead, and I send them off into the woods.
Morgan nuzzles into the kiss a bit, but turns resolutely toward the path. And are you going to try to see through Morgan's?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab someone's shoulder
So
to
you don't
steady
fall
me as
over.
I warg in or whatever. So I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, so the rest of you see their eyes go completely white and mouth kind of open all the way, and for you, sort of like Kiefer Sutherland at the in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and
Just very chill looking.
well, you're not screaming, so that's good.
Lady Lon takes Rowan's mouth and just closes it.
Morgan doesn't go even another 30 feet before seeing a second tree along the path, again with 13 marks, and a further arrow pointing in the same direction, roughly, with a little bit of a turn, but again following a trodden path. And there is a similarly subtly decayed horse on the side of the path here.
Great.
You can report this to...
Yeah, I would definitely relay everything.
Sorry, Donald Sutherland.
What did you say?
Kiefer. Yes.
Donald Sutherland, of course, yes. Cassie corrected me. Going farther down the path, you get to a third tree. Again, there are these 13 marks, and at this point, the arrow is pointing toward the path, but the fog is not nearly as parted there as it was. In other words, you're coming up to a sort of fog wall.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want Morgan to proceed?
About how far away from us?
This is about 50 feet.
Okay. Before having them move forward, I want them to take a minute and do a perception check, I guess. Get the lay of the land.
Have we been advancing behind, or are we still in the same spot?
I was thinking that you were in the same spot.
Okay.
We could advance to where the horse is.
We could.
You can.
What I would like to know is why did this horse choose to die?
I mean, I've definitely woken
Now
up
I'm
some
confused
days.
about what religion teaches you.
You see also along the path here signs of... roll your perception check.
Yeah, I gotta get this cat stat block up.
Cat stat.
Give me my cat
at this
stats.
point you
Cat stat.
are close to the second tree, so you could be looking around if you like.
Oh, they're good at perception.
Well, a cat
That
cat
does make
stat
sense.
high.
Also good at stealth. That makes sense. 20. Oh, 19. 19.
Okay. So one thing that you notice is that it seems like the same person went along this path several times around the same period of time. Several days ago.
Wait, how would we know that?
Based on the footsteps,
It's still
Okay.
freshish.
Yeah, how much the underbrush has been
Cat sense.
disturbed. The smell.
Okay. Oh, I see. The cat is perceiving this
Yeah.
and sort of relaying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they were coming into and out of wherever this path is headed, or like they were just wandering on the path.
Like they were going around. So, one pass, two pass, etc.
So, coming
Back and forth.
Yeah.
No,
No, around.
around.
Around what?
Well, you just see...
The footprints are only ever facing
Exactly.
one direction.
Exactly.
Oh.
Oh, that doesn't seem good.
I'm gonna try walking back towards the road.
Okay. You're fine.
Oh, I get back to the
You
road.
get back to the road.
Oh.
I think we're safe, everyone. The road is still in this direction.
Thank you.
I'm gonna walk back to the rejoin
Okay.
the group.
That was a good thought.
Yeah, for sure. When it gets stuck walking the same, 15 feet of forest for eternity.
That's like a Star
Until
Trek
we get exhausted
episode.
and die like
you
that
don't-
horse.
Yeah. Until we just lay down and decide to die.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Yeah, forward. Shall we press on?
Suppose.
Okay.
Cautiously continue.
Are you sending Morrigan ahead of you?
Yeah.
Okay. Morrigan, through their vision, you can only see terribly thick fog. You don't really have a sense of which direction they're going in very quickly. Roll a Constitution check for Morrigan.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Is cat gonna get eaten by the shadow curse? Ooh. 17.
But their instincts sort of take over, and they begin to trot, going a little bit faster. At first it scares you, but it seems like they know or understand something about their situation that you can't perceive. And shortly thereafter, the fog parts, and they are on what, again within sight of the road, now looking toward the road, next to a fourth tree, bearing another 13 tally marks, and a carving with a knife protruding from it. It looks like someone has stabbed this old dagger into the trunk of the tree, and there is a rough carving next to it of a figure on a horse. The carving is in the tree. A figure on a horse. And it says, "The horseman rides. The seer spoke true."
Is horseman capitalized?
The letters are block letters.
I see.
You know, like the notes you used to pass in junior high so they couldn't tell whose handwriting it was?
And
I was called
Yeah, I never
those
thought about
ones.
that.
Okay.
the arrow points again along the path.
I'm gonna go ahead and pocket that knife.
Well, you're not there right now.
You're right. That's the cat.
But
Just
you
kidding.
see yourselves.
Maury's gonna pocket that knife
Or-
before you can.
You see yourself through Morrigan's eyes, across the road,
And you see your mouth all
about
open.
80. No, Lady Lon
Oh,
closed
I
it.
should close my mouth. This does not look attractive.
About 80 feet ahead. 80 feet behind.
Oh, okay, so Morrigan's walked up to the tree, taken a look, and then is turned around facing us now.
The tree pointing ahead is pointing toward you.
So
Okay.
it's
So it is
like a
kind of
loop.
what you were.
Yes.
I'm starting to think that the 13 tally marks are
Was
not
how many times they went.
indicating
Yeah.
there are
no.
13 places,
Is
things
how many-
at this destination, but
How many times they
Yeah.
went there.
Yes. Yes.
Well, maybe 14 will get us out.
It does feel silly to... The whole thing feels silly.
Well, should we just go back? Can we just go back to the road?
You can.
Why would we proceed?
Well, it seems like at this point was when they realized that the horseman rides? Is that any relevance?
We needed to walk in a big circle in order to see or encounter the horsemen.
It was Rowan into tarot.
Well, so it didn't, as far as I know, it didn't really exist at this time.
Let's say it did.
Okay. Right on.
Maybe it did.
Your choice.
Around here.
Yeah, I think they would absolutely be into shit like that.
So roll a history check.
Ooh. I think that's one of the things I'm actually good at.
I can guidance you as well.
Tight.
Do it.
18.
So you would know that the horseman is a death card from a tarot deck.
Oh.
There's a horseman in the tarot?
I don't. Well, the art is a like skeletal rider on a horse, who's passing a bunch of people and
For the
pointing,
death card.
and they're like, "Ah, I'm dying." So I don't think that the horseman is a literal horseman, or not the horseman that we saw. I think it's. I think the horseman is deaf.
We might want to assume from here on out that
Everything is
anytime
trying to
there's a
kill us?
mystery, that the end of the road
Is death?
is death.
Seems
Well,
fair.
apparently they needed a seer to tell them that, so I think we're ahead of the game, frankly.
I would call back your cat.
Alright. Morty!
Morrigan hears you and gives you a and comes right back.
Runs back over with the tail up.
Well, we could go that way, couldn't we?
We could go either way, I suppose.
Maybe you're supposed to go counterclockwise. I suppose apologies for taking us all in a sideline that
Yeah, why'd you make us do that?
Yeah, Lady Lon is not inherently curious, so she's sort of like, I think we should go back to the road.
that seems prudent at this point. Instead of finding evidence of other people, we just found a particularly elaborate grave.
I mean, who knows if we, took 10 more paces or something if we'd been caught in the loop unawares.
Well,
maybe
until
you just
we make
didn't go
it back
far
to
enough.
the road, I'm not
Yeah, we're not.
counting your chickens before they...
Well, you're back at the road.
As soon as that happens, I'm like, oh. Oh.
All right, I call Morrigan up, and she like climbs up my arm and like rests behind my head.
Oh, that's
with
very
a little
cozy. Very cozy.
Kitty stole.
Well, I guess with that you do proceed down the road.
Yeah.
Okay. It's about a 2-hour walk. You're not proceeding that quickly because the road is not in the best condition. But you pay close attention to every snap of a twig and to the wind rustling around, and before you know it, the dark woods fall away behind you, and you see a misty, gloomy valley with these thick clouds of fog. There are some rolling thunderclouds as well that put everything in kind of a gray pall. And as in the morning, there is no sun visible amid the gray light from the sky. These trees rise up from the sides of the valley like kind of sharp teeth, and you're entering the mouth. And to the north, you see a stony mountain with little tufts of trees. And to the south, to your left, you see this huge snow-capped peak with very rugged slopes that tower above the land. Now, ahead of you is this muddy road passing through yellowed grasses, surprisingly some farmland that seems to be reasonably productive. And then far ahead, maybe another 2 hours or so, you see a humble settlement close to the ground, a river flowing with pretty clear blue water that you can see even in the muted light. And then above the village, to your right, toward the north, on this mesa, is a dark, twisted castle. It looks like it's formed out of this pillar of sheer stone, and just for an instant, seemingly as soon as your eyes alight on it, it crackles with lightning, lighting up this
Now I need it.
this towering keep,
The crackling.
Yeah.
and it creates all these jagged shadows around it. And then a thick bank of fog rolls up behind it, concealing both the village and the castle from your view. At this point, it is early afternoon, so you could choose to keep going toward the village. Maybe it's tough to tell because you went to sleep sometime after midnight, based on when you got out of the house, and you probably slept for a while. But the light makes it very difficult to tell. So it could be late morning, it could be early afternoon. That's your best guess. But you could camp here for the evening, or you could go on toward the village. Or you could do whatever the fuck you want. I don't know. I'm not your boss.
The village sounds good to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
as long as we can make it there before night falls, I have the feeling that approaching a settlement under cover of darkness might be perceived negatively.
It looks to be about a couple hours away.
I'd be
Maybe.
more worried about trying to spend the night out here, unsheltered.
Yeah.
Might be worse things that can find us in the dark.
Yes. I think we move forward towards the village.
All in accord? Okay. So you go forward toward the village, and again, the fog that obscured it does seem to part as you get near. You can get a bit more of a glance at the farmland around you. It looks like a lot of potato. Mostly potatoes, really.
Austin Powers going.
So,
Sorry.
some roughage, but beyond that, very little vegetation. There do seem to be some grape vineyards out there, and as the day deepens, the overcast skies brighten a bit. Still a very gloomy gray, and the outskirts of this village come into a clearer view. So you're approaching as best you can tell from the east, and you see this wide dirt trench surrounding the settlement. It's at least 5 feet deep, looks at least 5 feet across as well, and there are hundreds of sharpened wooden stakes that thrust up from it. Again, like a mouth of some menacing animal. And up ahead, beside a heap of charred wood, the road continues over a makeshift bridge that goes over this pit, and you can see where the muddy ground that you've been walking on gives way to field stones and then cobblestones beyond that into what looks like a modest village of the kind you're used to traveling through. These wooden barricades are haphazardly set up along the streets. You've probably seen things like this in some of the conflict-torn places you've been to. The structures around them bear scorch marks and gashes. It looks like some violence has taken place here. And several buildings have partially or even completely collapsed roofs and walls. And that doesn't sound very nice to you amid this kind of cold dampness that seems to surround this valley. The tall shapes of the different dwellings that you can see stand kind of above the rest, and they loom out of the fog that covers just the first few feet of ground and clings to the cobblestone streets. Above, on the rooftops, you see a few figures patrolling with crossbows, and half a dozen gaunt, haunted-looking villagers are... You really can't say village people. It's just... I was about to say it, and I'm like, that just changes the whole thing.
It's crazy that
Very different vibe.
Yeah.
they had that impact.
Yeah. The villagers are repairing this barricade.
There's
that
a construction
sort of spans
worker,
them
there's
up.
a Native American,
Yeah,
there's a
Native
police.
Barovian. So they're repairing the barricade and looking, surveying what's going on is a relatively tall, broad-shouldered man with shoulder-length blonde hair. It looks stringy and matted at this point. And a very strong jaw who's sort of leading the work and participating. He seems to be carrying a blade on his hip and some splint mail armor over a collared coat, and then another overcoat on top of that. And they don't seem to notice you yet. You hear the calls of two conversing ravens atop one of the nearby rooftops, looking over and punctuating the proceedings with their voices. What would you like to do?
I think Lady Lon just kind of like marches over and it's like, "You there? What village is this?"
Okay, so as soon as you get near,
We're gonna do great.
let me.
She doesn't.
No.
She doesn't.
I'm all for
She's
it.
not.
Not arguing.
She's not used to making small talk.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think any of us really. Well, maybe you.
Yeah, she doesn't seem
I don't
to
know.
be all that.
Not that great. Circle interaction.
I think I'm going to cast Enhance Ability on Lady Lon. Lady
Persuasion?
Lon, you have advantage on all, what is it called? Charisma checks.
Oh, great.
It used to be called Eagle's Splendor.
And you
but
know
I
what?
think I got rid of
What
May
the
as well
hell?
give it a shot.
Guidance.
Yeah,
Guidance.
So advantage of that.
So as soon as you come within
He's charmed.
60 feet of the city,
Guidance on persuasion.
uh,
I have to call out the skill.
you hear a stark cry from a woman on one of the rooftops. She calls out, "Halt! Declare yourselves. Be you dead or alive?"
Alive.
Alive?
Do I look dead?
And this grim-looking man in leather armor also twitches at the crossbow on his hip. But as soon as they confront you, the broad-shouldered one you noticed before shouts down from the ground, "Teresa, calm yourself. They're just like us. Come."
Oh, thank God. Thank you.
What village is this?
Do you want to keep shouting across the barricade, or would you like to?
Oh, we're still okay. And I think we're across the barricade.
Let's cross.
Let's cross. Yeah.
Okay. You approach a little closer. He says, "Welcome. I'm sorry for the harsh greeting, but it has not been easy these last few days. This is the village of Barovia. And I am Izmar Kolyanovich."
Lady Lana's like looking around and be like, "This is Barovia."
The village of, yes. Once the jewel of this duchy. We are that no longer. Valaki has overtaken us in size and splendor, but we are still a nice waypoint for those who come here, although I must say, very few do these days.
Do you have a healer?
A healer?
I was told. Well, do you have one?
We have a priest, and some of the crones around here claim to have soups that can fortify.
Soup.
Soups, yes. I'm sorry, do you have a name?
I'm Eric. Hello.
Hello. Izmar Kolyanovich.
Pleasure.
And the rest of you.
I'm Lady Lan.
Father Esquivel.
A noble.
Lady Lan sort of like looks a little like offended that like question was asked. Just like,
Couldn't
yes.
tell.
Well, I am sorry that we could not prepare a fitting welcome, but as you can see, we have been dealing with some harsh few weeks.
You asked if we were...
No,
dead
pardon,
or
one
alive.
second.
Oh, sorry.
Father Esquivel.
Ah, a man of God.
Yes.
He looks at your dress and says, "As I mentioned, we have one of those as well. Although you may not be the same. I'm sorry, it's been a while since I've worshipped. The same.
Denomination?
I think so. Yes.
I would be interested in meeting this man.
He
Because
may
of
be,
course he's a man, because why else would it...
Well, in that you're right. He may be at the church, but it. Well, we can get to that. And you.
I'm Rowan Domnolich.
A pleasure to meet you.
A pleasure to find your village on this road, and thank you for welcoming us.
Well, I must say, as the first visitors in maybe 15 years, I am curious about what brings you here, and I do not believe you are local to Barovia.
You're right.
You are correct, I am not from here.
Any?
No.
Thieves on the road stole all of our things.
Well, that is interesting.
Yes.
Did these thieves, did they have a blue scarf?
Did they?
Sounds familiar.
They did.
Yeah.
Yes. Are they here? Have you heard of them?
Some have passed through, yes. The Vistani are, well, they're not anywhere all of the time, you see, but they can reliably be found in some places, and they are skillful barterers. And some may have brought some wares to this village, maybe acquired from you. You might be able to find them from the merchant.
Where is this merchant?
His shop is in the center of town, and if you like, he looks at the progress on the repairs. If you like a bit of hospitality, you can follow me to our tavern. I can buy you a drink, and I can do my best to answer any questions you have, and also point out the notables, the church, the Bildrath's Mercantile, and maybe a healer.
Drink sounds lovely, thank you.
I would love to take a load off.
You heard me.
With all of the other stuff happening, I'm not gonna...
Live and let live, Father.
Proceed.
I'm a little bit mature for my age.
It's like something about looking at like the patchy hair, fingernails falling off. It's like, I can't really.
Yeah, what's
You're gonna say that I can't? Come on, that's kind of mean.
So you
Can I do something as we're walking with
What's his name again?
Ismark?
Yeah,
Ismark.
his name.
Was the last name he gave? I don't think I or Father Esquivel remembers whether that is the same name as was in the document that we found early on the road.
They're all there.
Which one of the numerous...
But I'll also tell you this: the way that names work here. I think it might be that one.
yes, it is, I think.
So the way that names work, though, last names aren't really used very often. You would typically use a first name and then an indication of your father's name. Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't be able to tell a relationship necessarily.
Well, what was the name in that?
Irina Kolyana. But it does say I, the burgomaster of Barovia. was from whom the...
And he is Ismark Kolyanovich.
This is from Kolyan Indirovich.
Oh,
So
Kolyan.
So this could be his
Kolyanovich.
father.
This note was sent by his father?
Yeah.
Presumably.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Can I see?
Yes.
And we have that.
We do have that.
Father Esquivel, you notice that one of the ravens is following you more or less as you walk through the center of town, where you see haggard villages with haunted eyes and kind of sunken, sallow faces. They're watching you from their homes or from whatever they're doing. They're stained with mud or blood or whatever it is. They are looking extremely haggard. Their hands are never far from either a bona fide or improvised weapon. Ismark greets each and every one by name, and some come up to him. They whisper something quietly, a complaint or just an issue of some kind, before they flee into these groaning houses or the gloomy alleys around you. So Ismark takes you through a second, larger barricade, which has these grim-faced villagers wielding clubs and spears. And beyond that is an old, chipped stone statue that is standing at the center of the town square, with a man who has on some sort of armor and holding a sword above his head. There's more than a dozen tents, like makeshift tents, lean-tos, campfires that have been set up around it, and these haggard villagers, old and young and sickly, all huddled in there. And then beyond that, this single shaft of light thrusts illumination on a building that makes it look like this solid pillar among the fog. And above its gaping doorway, it says there's a skewed sign hanging that says "Blood on the Vine Tavern." And he says, "It's Blood of the Vine." Some young people they played a little joke.
Seems though you've encountered quite a bit of trouble. Has it been this way for long?
Better to come inside so that I may explain.
Very well.
This building is about 60 feet square, and as he pushes open the door, and you can tell by the way that the statue, the man in the statue, looks pretty similar to the person guiding you around.
Lady Lon is like a little skeptical, so she's going to kind of, like, she has like her sleeves, but she's kind of readying her claws in her sleeves.
Okay.
Just in case.
Yeah. So he pushes open the doors of this tavern, and what you see is a place that it seems that at some point it was a nice looking tavern. At this point, it's a little more tired and dusty and has sort of fallen into disrepair. Behind the bar, a pudgy little man is cleaning glasses almost mechanically, not seeming to pay attention to you or anyone else. At a table, at one of the tables, there are three middle-aged women seated, each quite lovely in appearance, but they wear these drab dresses similar to the rest of the villagers, but they have each of them is wearing a red scarf around their necks. There's another table with a single man sitting at it, and an open table that Ismark brings you to and asks, "We have wine. We may have water."
Wine, please.
I will take hot water.
Arik, can you make it hot? He screams at the barkeep, and the barkeep just nods and turns. The women take note at Ismark talking, but they don't mention anything themselves. And the person at the table gives a harumph and turns away. And the two of you?
Wine.
Oh, wine for me as well.
Wine it shall be. So he goes to the bar, goes behind the bar, and proceeds to pour 3 glasses from a bottle with a label similar to the one that you had outside of the gates of Barovia, but not the exact same one as far as you can tell. And he comes back and again says, "I'm sorry for the state of the city, but my father and I are doing our best to, well, keep it from becoming even worse." First, maybe tell me, how have you come to the valley?
Not, in a sense, by choice. As I mentioned, those ruffians stole all of our belongings, and we had no choice but to enter the gates of Barovia.
And now, what do you intend to... Well, you must have 1,000 questions. I will try to answer as many as I can. Please.
My sort of big burning question is, what exactly is that trench meant to keep out?
Well, you've picked a difficult one to start with. This land is ruled by the devil.
Okay.
He is called Strahd. He is centuries old, cruel, unyielding, tyrannical, and he makes victims of us all in his way.
Is that his castle up there?
I believe so.
But you do not know?
I believe that the castle you mean is his castle. The one looming above the village, like
That's the one
some
I
sort
meant.
of wolf waiting to pounce. Nearly 100 days ago, a group of foolhardy, if I may say, people from here, from this village, took it upon themselves to assault the castle and attempt to rid the land of Strahd once and for all. Needless to say, they were unsuccessful. Shortly thereafter, he sent his envoy to warn us that in 90 days, he would exact his revenge. For the last 6 nights, every night, a horde of dead descend upon us. They ravage, they claw, they bite, they take no prisoners, and it is all we can do to beat them back without all of us dying. And that's why we built the barricade.
Seems reasonable.
I think during this talk, I would have taken out either my own Bible or the one in Prussian that I found in the house, and was looking through. The devil's name is Strahd. I don't see that in remember.
We heard about Strahd in the Durst home, didn't we?
Oh,
You went to
yes.
the Durst home.
Yes.
Yes. We seemingly met.
Well, that is a
That's right.
surprise.
He wrote a note to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Strahd.
Strahd did. Yeah.
Yes, she made the mistake of attempting to become his ally.
Well, she is dead now.
Well, she has been dead for...
No, she's completely dead now.
From what I know, she has been completely dead for over 100 years.
Whoa.
100
I
years.
need another word for it.
Indeed, from what I know,
Destroyed?
that house was burnt. My father burnt it down.
Oh. Well,
Well,
sank into the earth the last time we saw it. Maybe
We
that
spent the
is
better part of it.
different.
Night there.
What did you see?
an underground labyrinth we navigated. It was...
The cults, yes, my father led some of us to expunge the cult from the house. We did so. We incinerated the house.
How old are you?
How old do you think I am? You think he's about 32, 33?
Well, if your father burnt down the house over 100 years ago,
Oh no, she had been dead before that.
I see.
Oh, the cultists were more recent, right?
Well, perhaps it was all just the lingering spirits, but we saw a house, we saw and smelled a whole table full of food. There was moving suits of armor. We saw Clara, we saw Elizabeth, and we had an interaction with Walter as well.
Are you hungry?
Yes.
Arik, bring the pies, he says. The bartender brings hot water, and
I smell the water, just to make sure.
it smells okay. Not worse than what you're used to from traveling on the road. He brings 2 or 3 and asks if you want more meat pies, and also a loaf of potato bread, and it seems like some kind of meatloaf.
Great.
Nismark says, please dig in, and
No
careful with the
manners.
pie. They are they're almost a little too good.
Not holding back.
If we wanted to wait 10 minutes or so, I think I could maybe purify some of this food
Too
here.
late. I'm already eating.
It will be cold by then.
That is true.
Lady Lan is like, pushes her pie over to Father Esquivel. It's like, one cannot be too careful, it seems.
Would Lady Lon like some potato pottage?
No, that sounds... She's like, no, Thank you.
Okay, well, try the meatloaf or at least the bread. We have no butter, but... Go ahead, purify. Please. Is there anything else that you'd like to know in the meantime?
How long are these attacks going to last?
We have no basis to know. There has been no additional offer to parley.
This other town that you speak of,
Wallaki.
where is that?
To the west, and farther to the west is Kresk. Those are the 3 remaining towns.
How long do we have until these dead arrive again today?
Oh, at least 4 hours. Based on past experience, of course. You will hear the bells.
Have you considered leaving your town behind? Is his ire focused on the town? Will the dead follow you if you attempt to leave?
Certainly others have considered and left, but this is my city, and I must defend it. I must defend my father, my sister, and all of these Barovians. They are my family and my charge at once. They are my brothers and sisters, and they are my children. And at that, you hear something just slam against a nearby table. Your head spins immediately, and the man sitting by himself, you see a clenched fist twitching against the table's wooden surface. You follow the hand up to the arm and see this squat man with greasy, receding salt and pepper hair and this patched, well-worn coat. And he scowls, looking down at the table, down into his mug, and then turns his eyes toward you and says, "It is a fool's errand to put your faith in Ismark the Lesser. Best to seek better company, lest you wind up in the ground with the last fools that trusted him."
And your company is better, presumably? How?
I'm dead, like the rest of us, but I tell you, leave now, while you still can.
Why do you not leave if you are so unhappy?
I have nowhere to go, and I've lost the only reason I would have to continue on. But if you want to hear the real story of this bloody land, you come sit at my table. Ismark.
Look to Ismark, and that's cool.
I do kind of want to hear what you have to say, I'm being honest.
Ismark says, "Wouldn't offend me, please.
Who is he?
If you... His name is Bildrath. He owns the local store, a town fixture, a fixture in the blood of the vine as well, lately anyway. But he deserves to be heard, just as the rest of us do."
Is he the local merchant that you spoke of?
He is, and truth be told, he's right to hate me. I asked the other villagers to stay and to defend our homes, and it was arrogant. It was foolish. I didn't know how powerful the devil was, which, even saying that, makes me sound like the fool that I am. Dozens of my friends and neighbors are gone his sister, her husband, gone. And I'm still here. Why?
Well, you have bravery, and that's commendable.
Well, I only wish I hadn't inspired people to die for needless cause.
Well, we're grateful for your hospitality so far. Right now, seems like we're just gathering information, so I suppose we will talk to everyone we can.
You could
Yes,
still
you may.
leave and save the rest of these people.
I cannot leave. And some of them cannot either. I must defend this place because it is me. But you may go talk to him. I can drink by myself.
Well, I did want to know, we found a note a while ago, I think from... Are you the burgomaster of this village, or...
Burgomaster is my father's title.
I see. We did find this note, and I show him the note.
He looks over, his eyebrows furrow. Found it.
Found it on the road. It was on the body of a...
Of Dalvin. Yes, that is who we sent. Well, yes, it's true. The other reason I cannot leave is because the devil has taken an interest in my sister, in Irina.
Irina's your sister.
Yes.
Can you explain to me why you don't have the same last name? It just seems like that's a better system.
We honor our fathers here. Plus, easier to keep track. Whose are you? Kolyanovich. Kolyanova.
But I thought Irina...
It's gender.
Oh, I
it's
see.
just gender.
I see. Kolyana, of course. Is she here?
To this, Bildrath says, "Unfortunately, yes, she is. They should have removed her from here or given her to the devil days ago. This would have ended."
I see the difficult situation you've been put in.
These would-be revolutionaries led this fruitless campaign by the son of the priest, no less. After he filled their heads with these fairy tales of bringing back the sun and purging the mists, well, we see what that amounted to. None of them came back. And what did come was the devil's envoy, telling us that we had to make peace with our gods. Then this one stands in front of the statue of his great-grandfather as though he was worth 1/10 of him, speechifying, orating, and convincing people to stay for no reason other than to die. And yes, my sister too. I should have run. I should have never come back.
I think anyone observing Father Esquivel would immediately be able to tell they did not cover this in
Preschool.
priest formation. This was
Seminary.
Yeah. Well, the Jesuits call it formation.
Oh.
Apparently.
Oh, okay.
But
Mark my words. There is no sun to bring back. There is no escape from here. The mists will never leave. This is hell.
how did they think they were going to bring the sun back?
By killing the devil, as foolish as that sounds. But this is hell. You cannot kill him. Not now. Not ever. And the sooner you know that, the better off you'll be.
I don't know. Everything dies.
You don't have to tell me that again.
That may have been an insensitive comment. I apologize.
At this point, the door to the tavern swings open again.
Has the food been purified yet?
You can, yeah.
Has it been?
Can you read me the text of
Yes.
the purification ritual?
Purify food and water.
And water. Yes, one.
I already ate. I finished.
Second. Purify, yeah. All non-magical food and drink within a 5-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice within range is purified and rendered free of poison and disease.
Okay.
I suppose that doesn't account for magical
Curses.
conditions.
Curses and whatnot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, dig in.
This isn't.
To our cold, definitely not cursed.
Lady Lan is like, this is really not the kind of food that Lady Lan, like,
Pork meatloaf even? That's fine.
peasant food. No, she's gonna just be like, she's eating it like, very, like, begrudgingly.
You gotta
but she's
eat.
very hungry.
Can I have Morgan do like a sniff check on the food?
What kinds of things would Morrigan react to?
I think spoilage definitely.
Yes.
Any probably poisons. It is a magical creature, so I could see an argument for it sensing something magical, but like I don't think that'd be related to a smell-based perception check.
I don't think so.
That's a
Yeah.
whole spell.
Yeah,
Roll a perception check.
tight. I get advantage because it's a sniff. Ooh, nat 20.
Okay.
Hey.
Lady Lan's like,
Morgan is very... Oh, yeah. Don the crown.
Angrily.
Don the crown
The
of
way
complete
all
competence.
Crowns should be.
Morgan definitely is curious about the pies. More so than about anything else. But not disgusted by it.
I already ate the pie.
All of the pie?
Yeah. 10 minutes.
pray tell, like,
Or
tavern
my
keeper,
portion.
what meat is
There are
this?
multiple pies.
He says, the pie meat.
Pie meat.
Lady Lan sort of pushes that to the side and takes the bread.
I'm sorry. That was a question. You are asking about the pie meat.
Yes. What meat? What animal is this pie?
Yes. Pie meat.
Very well. I will eat the bread.
Amazing.
You seem like a particularly interesting individual. Do you have any thoughts on the
Election?
Did you see the debate?
Do you have any thoughts on are you happy to stay here, or are you?
Stay at home. Ismark turns to you and says, another thing. Since the devil has come, the mists have come. We've had a problem with the exchange of souls.
Oh no. Oh no.
Please elaborate.
Well, when I discussed this with the priest here, he's not receptive, but it seems to have a discord with what he believes about the world. But our observations are well-founded. May I continue?
Please.
Please.
Some people here seem to be born like you and I, regular. A person, a soul within a body, yes. Some people are born with someone else's soul. Rarely. And others, and he sort of gestures toward the barkeep, who he called Arik, are born without one. And there are more every generation.
Oh.
And what are the consequences of this having no soul?
Well,
Lady Lon kind of gets up and actually goes over and kind of looks at Arik.
his face is totally placid and unchanging. Well, you may sort of see for yourself. There's a lack of, it seems funny to say given the circumstances here in the village, but a lack of pleasure in life, or displeasure, lack of feeling, and a lack of the seed.
Lady Lon looks at Bildrath,
Bildrath?
and she goes you say this is hell, and yet, arguably, this man may be experiencing the opposite.
No, he's also in hell, I think. Maybe he just doesn't hate it as much as I do.
I lean forward and kind of angle myself slightly away from Uric. You say they're born without seed? What precisely? Do you see what I'm getting at? I can't.
No.
I'm finding the words difficult to.
The essence of
Are you saying you
life.
haven't heard of an immaculate conception?
No.
Thought I was
Sorry.
being subtle,
I'm
but
right here.
I apologize.
Not.
They are born from seed, but they do not carry it themselves. He is without children and shall ever be.
Yes. Okay.
Further detail would be
That's the end
unseemly.
of my questions. Yes.
So
Yet again,
like undead mules.
oblivious to
Undead.
pain,
You know
no
that
children. Does not
Oh,
sound
that
so
was
bad, no
over table,
offense.
I suppose that's one way to look at it. And at this point, the tavern door swings open again, and a woman steps through. She has tattered and threadbare cloak on, and she looks distraught. She looks like the kind of person you might see on the roads traveling, begging for coin and babbling some kind of nonsense. There are these 2 loops of hair that fall around her neck, but each of them has many strands pulled out, and her eyes are darting wildly around the room. And she spots Ismark, steps kind of shakily toward him, and says, you can see her face as it comes toward the light of the fire, that it's very pale, blotchy eyes, blotted skin, and just tears staining the flesh on her cheeks. Master Kolyanovich, and Ismark doesn't seem surprised or fazed by this. I apologize for interrupting you and your guests, but I haven't seen Gertruda since last night, and the horse is gone. I think Gertruda is missing. And Ismark says that the tavern falls silent at this point. Everyone other than Arik turns to her. And Ismark's eyes now do kind of crease with worry, and he hugs this woman and says, "Mary, I'm sorry. We will organize a search party at once. I promise." And at this point, Bildrath stands up. "More empty promises. Kolyanovich, he turns to you, appealing now. Have you ever seen something so cruel?" Mary looks confused. "Bildrath, what do you mean?" "Mary, your daughter's been gone for 40 days. Mm-hmm. You will not find her. She is dead." Mary bursts into tears and runs out the door. Ismark now turns to him and says, "Master Cantemir, this is quite enough. Return to your shop." Bildrath says, "Are you going to put me in my place, Kolyanovich? You must stop lying to the woman. The girl's dead. She's gone mad. We'll all be joining her soon enough. What is the point of these lies?" "There's always a chance. Always. You might have given up on our people, Bildrath, but I have not." And at this point, Bildrath's hands curl into fists. And he takes a long, lingering moment, sort of teetering forward, but then finally he just spits on the floor, shoulders past you all, and the last sound you hear is the slamming shut of the tavern door, and somewhere beyond it, the woman's cries. And Ismark sort of hangs his head.
How do we feel about spending the night here? Good, bad.
Not sure we have any other options.
Well, here they have no rooms. Now we do have room in our manor, in the Burgomaster's manor. I would ask, though, that you take some time to rest, and in the evening, assist us.
I don't want to speak for all of us, but I think if the situation is as dire as you're telling us it is, and we have nowhere else to go, I don't think we have many options.
I must confess, I believe your chances are better, at least for the next day, in fighting shoulder to shoulder with us, than alone on the roads, or waiting in the burgomaster's manor until the barricades are breached.
Yes. But I think after that, maybe we head towards one of these other towns and take those with us who wish to leave.
No offense.
None taken. And in fact, there are those who have already gone to the other town, and you may be able to provide them assistance along the road, if you choose. But tonight, the more hands, the better, I think. I don't know if I can promise coin, but it will help all of us survive the night, yourselves included.
All that I ask is that if those thugs have in fact brought our things to this town, that they be returned to us.
Well, for that, you'll have to ask Bildrath.
He seems lovely.
I'm deeply grateful for this. The town is, even if they won't quite express it. The first thing you may do is, my sister has fire bottles, as we call them. She's prepared at the home. You may pick them up from her, perhaps meet my father, and then in the evening when you hear the church bell, go to the eastern barricade. I'll be in the west, and my sister is in charge of the south.
Wait, isn't she like half vampire at this point?
Well, she's wanted by Strahd, right? That's all.
Not yet.
But it's like she said. So she is able to. She is well?
So far. Are you referring to...
Your father's description paints a rather dire picture.
Well, she's still fighting. Bless her.
All right.
The east is where you came from, by the by.
Excellent.
Oh, we're in for a night.
I guess before we head there, I might go and see if I can track down Bildrath at his shop.
It's not far. Just around the corner in the center of town is Bildrath's. It's a 2-story, very narrow building, and again, the sort of place that you think may have been nice at some point and now is much less so. On your way there, you first of all, Father Esquivel, you see that one of the ravens is still following you, observing from a distance. You wouldn't have necessarily noticed, but it does seem like its head is sort of following you. You also see a cart with a picture of a meat pie on the side and a woman leaving a home, having just conducted some sort of transaction and pushing it away. She sees you and gives a nice smile and a wave, but sort of goes on from there.
So this is like a meat pie version of the ice cream man and a milk delivery man or something?
That's right.
It's a pie cart.
It's a classic pie cart.
Classic pie cart.
Just a
This place
classic,
isn't so bad after all.
a classic, normal pie cart.
Do they do that through like an app or there's a web portal for delivering, getting the pies?
Yes, a spider web portal. So, walking into Bildrath's, you note that it's fairly dusty. not very well kept interior, but it has a kind of charming provincial quality to it. You also notice that Bildrath is behind the counter, counting something up. He is intently focused on the papers there, and picks up his head as you come in, saying, "Ah, I see you've come to your senses then. At least looking for a deal in this world before you meet your untimely expiry tonight."
I'm looking for stolen goods. Goods that have been stolen from me.
Well, I wouldn't know about anything like that.
You may not have realized they were stolen at the time, but I will take a look at your wares. Have any Vistani sold you any items in the last few days?
I deal with so many vendors. As a matter of fact, they have. And he says, "Periwimple, nephew, come down." And you see a man with crooked teeth, very large and imposing, blonde, boyish but thinning hair, kind of a Boris Johnson type of look, but thinning. And he says, "Uncle." And and Bildrath says, "Fetch the most recent arrivals, please. The new box." And Periwimple turns and grabs from a top shelf a box of largely unsorted goods, puts it in front of Bildrath, and Bildrath slides it across the counter, brushing off this plume of dust and a few small assorted items like a ball and a paddle, and shows it to you. "I suppose this may look familiar." And it does. It's your stuff.
Hey.
Most of it anyway. And you don't see your coin purses to the extent you had them, but you do see your things. And he says, "If you like, I do trust you, and as foolish as it is, I will credit your intention to help our town. So for 15 gold, you may have everything back. This is the cost that I paid for it."
You may charge it to Ismark, since he has promised us some coin that he can provide if we exist.
Roll a persuasion check.
You're still rolling with advantage.
Yes.
And guidance.
And guidance. Wait, guidance is what? 4?
A D4.
Let me roll this first. 19.
He at first doesn't react at all, and then yes, I like this one. Yes, I'll do that. Very well.
You may charge him double if you wish. And then
After my own heart.
And then Lady Lana's like, "Pray tell, thank you for these items. Was a small dog brought to the village?"
That I'm not sure of. And Periwimple says, "Yes, dog. Yes. Small.
Yes.
Yes.
Where is the dog?
With visitors. now gone.
Oh. So with the Vistani.
Yes, with the Vistani.
Do you know where they went?
Bildrath says, likely back to their camp.
Do you know where that is?
West from town. A day and a half or so of riding.
On the way to the other towns.
2 of walking.
Oh, on the way to the other towns?
Yes,
Other towns are west.
by the Tser Falls. Big waterfall.
Lady Lan, like, with her claws. Thank you, Periwinkle.
Wimple?
Wimple.
Harry Wimple.
Is there
He's a good boy, my daughter's son. Simple, but very good.
Simple, but good.
He seems very nice.
Very nice, very strong.
Very nice boy.
Sturdy boy.
And so big. And Perry
Inarguably.
smiles.
It's giving Lenny.
Yes, that's the right reference. I have that in my document.
Oh, Monto is alive.
Or was. At one point. Sorry, I'm sorry.
are there any other notable items or things for sale in this store? I can tell you a specific.
You can probably find anything in the adventuring items section of the player's handbook for 3 times its price.
I do have, because I did take the gold from the house.
Oh,
What
we do-
gold? You have gems.
No, I have gold.
Oh.
I wrote this down. Don't worry. I have 11 gold and 16 silver.
Okay. You guys do have some gems.
according to the
I got mas agate. Agate.
Agate?
Agate. I never said it out loud.
Me neither. So I don't know, actually.
I think
It is agate.
That makes
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
according to
But then why is Bob Saget? No,
Don't try to guess
No.
about English.
Yeah, good point.
It's crazy.
you can tell me how much gold I have. According to the 2024 starting I have 38 gold.
But it would have all been stolen.
I didn't have anything stolen because I wasn't with them with the Vistani.
Oh yeah, that's true.
My shit wasn't stolen.
Then you might have 40 gold
Whoa.
What?
because of the other.
Someone has
stuff.
more gold than Lady
Sure.
Lan. How dare you?
It's a Catholic priest. Of course he's rolling
That's
in
true.
Yeah.
earthly
rolling
earthly
in
wealth.
Tithes.
Yeah. I
Let me see what's
suppose
in
I was looking for some objects like if any of your local medicine people or seers have objects like specially marked sticks or bones or
Oh yes, let me retrieve my
trinkets.
special sticks for you. I would love to put you in some special sticks.
This is premium stick, very special.
Quickly marks them.
Charge double.
Great deal for you on this special sticks.
so I take it you don't have.
Are you looking for sage?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, sort of. I was hoping to perform ceremony for myself that would involve sort of reading these significant, tossing the items and then reading the.
We do have something like this. You want to cast some bones?
Yeah, basically. I need, in order to perform a specific spell, I need like specially marked sticks, bones, or other tokens.
Okay.
For that purpose, worth at least 25 gold pieces.
Yes, worth 25 gold pieces.
That's a lot of bones.
Well, maybe you'll have to bargain backwards.
Well, I mean, maybe the 2024 rules are different.
Well, he says, for 11 gold pieces, I can sell you this bag of chicken bones that has been used by the Vistani as they pass through here. Predicted a great harvest 2 years ago, and it was true.
Do you have anything? I don't know. Maybe if you have a model that's got more features or a little.
Why don't I do this? I have a chicken. I can add a few bones. Yes.
A live chicken?
Sure.
It will have been alive.
I suppose. I suppose it's not really worth interrogating in detail how exactly goods are priced and valued.
I will bring to you at the Eastern Barricade tonight a suitable bag of chicken bones, marked especially for scrying and seeing.
Okay.
And we'll say you can use this, and if you give me 25 gold pieces, I shall also give you a rope.
Ooh.
I do need a rope.
I can see to keep your robes taut.
Are they looking loose?
No, but you use a rope currently, yes.
I look down.
Which belt
Forgot
am I wearing
about
today?
It's
The brown one or
happens
the
all the
black
time.
one?
Yeah, I think it's a
What day of the week is it?
What tire?
rope or a particular. I have it in my. I know this off the top of my head. Yes, I'm rope.
Roll an investigation check.
Great. Cool.
I'll go through later with you, like, what items from my very long list, because one box is not all of Lady Lon's stuff, obviously.
Yeah, they are upcharging. You mean your things that you got back?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they didn't leave everything. They
Yeah.
would have kept something that they want to keep or think that they can arbitrage more in
Yeah, so
Valaki or
as I'm
some
saying,
other
it's
place.
not worth boring everybody with, like,
Yeah.
my inventory.
We'll see with your inventory management. We'll see
I
what
have
they
one of your fine silks.
Do you still have it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that didn't get stolen?
No, I got it
You got it back.
after.
Oh.
Or I everything was on my person.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
on your person?
Yeah.
Oh, right, and I think I gave it back to you, or I was like, you can keep it.
Yeah.
He says, yes, Pariwimple and I will be defending the East as well. So,
Oh, great.
yes. Well, it may be for
Well.
one night or two. But sooner or later, the mists will claim us all.
You should come with us
I'm going to stand behind
when we
Perry
leave
Wimple.
to go to this other town,
To Valaki.
Valaki, with a small detour to exact some revenge.
I don't know. I've
We'll see how you fight.
had my fill of Baldrath. Bildrath, sorry.
But not Periwinkle.
That's true.
Would
He's
You guys gonna be friends?
I don't have any personal gold, but
That's fine. I'll take it anyway.
if and I say to my traveling companions, and I'm like, but if you folks wouldn't mind buying just like some empty vials or bottles, then I can bless some water and that might come in handy at the battle tonight if what I think is attacking us is what's attacking.
How much
Right.
for the bottles?
Above the table, this says that they are valued at 1 gold piece.
But that's if a vial is, or
An empty vial is 1 gold piece.
Wow.
Which
Kind of
Expensive.
makes sense,
Seems wild.
actually. Well, glass is
Yeah.
expensive.
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
So he would be charging 3. And these are filled with water that may be potable.
Terrific. I can make take that potable water and make it potent water. And
Now,
then
have
it's
you
a potent potable?
Yes. Have you found anything in... You said you were in Durst Manor, yes? Was there anything there? Anything worth...
Yes.
I get.
There was a great
Do you
many things there.
do you speak Prussian or read Prussian?
Would you like these fine
I do
steak
not.
knives?
Likely not.
The steak knives? They're silver.
Well... I'll give you
How many
6
vials?
gold pieces. 2 vials
2 vials for these steak
for the
knives?
steak knives. A fair trade. Imminently fair.
All right.
Okay.
So I give the 2 vials to Rowan.
Tight. Thank you. I will, and I'm, well, not like immediately in the shop, but at some point once we're outside, gonna take 10 minutes and bless that water.
Okay.
I can do
So
the
it
other
is.
one at the same time.
It is now holy water.
Yes. We now
Cool.
have 2 vials of holy water.
And I no longer have 2 steak knives.
Okay.
Oh, it's an hour, according to old rules.
Oh. Oh, ritual spell is 10 minutes.
It's 10. It's the casting time plus 10 minutes. So this would actually be 70 minutes.
I thought it was different in 2024
It could be.
rules. Because I didn't... There's nothing
I'm glad they kept
in
rituals. I like rituals. Those are cool.
The description of ceremony.
Does anybody want my chainmail?
Oh, no, JK, there it is.
I don't think I can wear that.
Can
What kind of armor is chainmail?
Light.
Light or medium?
chainmail is
Chainmail.
I'm wearing
Chainmail
leather.
is medium.
Yeah,
Is
I can't wear
anybody-
that.
anybody
Um,
proficient?
I cannot
Yeah.
wear metal armor.
You can't? I thought you could. I thought they changed
you?
that.
Or that may be one of the things.
Or did
they
you already?
changed.
Are you already wearing armor?
I am already wearing armor, but I think I'm wearing a chain. I am wearing a chain shirt, not chain mail.
Oh,
And I think chain mail would be
better.
an upgrade.
okay. Well, since I cannot use it anymore, you can have it.
Oh well, thank you.
Now that Lady Lana's gotten back some of her OG stuff, she's
yeah.
feeling generous.
I'll have disadvantage on stealth, but I will have an AC of 18.
Oh, that seems very good.
Yeah.
Oh no, chainmail is heavy armor. I can't wear that.
It is. It's heavy.
According to D&D Free Rules 2024.
Okay.
So
Then heavy it shall be.
Well, should I sell it then to? Yeah.
You can.
What would Bildrith give me for a chainmail?
What it says in the player's handbook.
Player's Handbook says 75 GP
Oh.
as the cost.
Yeah. So because of the inflation, the cost here is 225.
But that's
So-
what we would pay him, not what he
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's willing to give you 75 for it.
75 and 2 vials. Two more vials. And you have a deal, sir.
Very well. Okay.
2 more vials, Rowan.
A hard bargain driven.
Tight.
A good item earned.
All right. Perhaps your nephew can wear it.
It is heavy. Huh? Okay.
I guess you don't think of it as heavy just because it's like
Because
chain.
hobbits wear it.
Tildrath, put this on. And he starts to don
Oh, he looks
the
great.
chainmail. Well, this may save his life tonight.
Did you just say that you don't have the silver knives anymore?
I sold
They were-
him the
they were
steak
bartered.
knives, but I do have a
Right,
silver
okay.
short sword.
Okay. I did just realize that there's something I didn't plan for in my plot to create a bunch of holy water,
Oh.
which is
You
that
need silver?
You
I
need
have-
silver knives.
yeah, so many silver knives. So I my brain was doing a thing where it was like, I'm a druid. I have a druidic focus. I don't need spell components, but I have the spell through the cleric magic initiate feat. It's
You
not a
need-
druid spell.
right.
It's a cleric spell.
Mm.
Oh.
I need all of the components. One of them is 25 gold worth of powdered silver.
20. Well, I have.
Well,
20.
unfortunately, we do not have the equipment to powder this silver.
I just grind it on a rock.
even
outside.
even Periwimple would likely struggle.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, then I guess. Is there anyone in town? Like a black.
Do you have like a
powdersmith.
Powdersmith?
Well, would you have had a component pouch with you among the stuff that was stolen?
Actually, yeah, I probably would have.
Typically, one does.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably okay.
I would have planned for this in world. I would know these things about myself.
Exactly. The rules changed on you. So
Cool. Never mind.
Okay, great.
D&D
The race.
So you
2024.
still have your 4
so
vials.
we have 4 vials of water total.
Correct.
I don't know how much time we have
It will.
before,
It
but
will
would
take 4 hours to make all 4. Actually, take 4 hours and 40 minutes
right.
to make all.
So
vials.
we could do them
Tag
in
team.
2.5. In
And-
2.5.
Yeah.
If we
Between
both
us. Tight.
where to?
I guess
The
it's
Burgomaster's
yeah, the manor.
Supposed manor.
You can follow the main road south until the biggest house in town.
See,
Not the
Sounds
biggest
that.
building. That would be the other corrupt institution.
Oh, the church.
That's right.
We didn't need to say it.
We will see you at the eastern gate.
Yes.
Thank
Before
you.
too long, and thank you for listening. So you look south down the road, and it's not a big town, so just a few minutes walk down, you find a weary-looking mansion behind a rusting iron fence, and the gates are sort of twisted and torn. The right side is cast aside completely, and the left swings in the wind. There's this squeal and clang of the gate as it opens and closes, and weeds are kind of choking the grounds and pressing in on the house itself. But there is a path to the front door, and along the path is a small mob of villagers gathered outside. They have brandished pitchforks and brooms and woodsmen's axes, and this plain, tired-looking woman stands at the front, brown-haired, weary eyes, and she just calls out, "Give her up, Kolyan! Please! It's no use. And in front of her, this older man, he's dressed in fine clothes with kind of wispy gray hair that is pretty far back on his scalp. He leans on a cane with both hands, and there are these blood-stained heavy bandages around his stomach and his forehead and around his thigh as well. And besides him is a young woman with long red hair and a long-sleeved gray tunic, tense face, a rapier at her side, and her hand is sort of hovering over it as she nervously eyes the crowd. And the man says, "Go home, Alyonka. The rest of you as well. For as long as I am burgomaster, I will not permit this." And they seem to be at a standstill, but their eyes turn to you as obvious newcomers.
Sorry to
No,
interrupt.
sorry. Far be it from us to interrupt your
Continue.
proceedings.
Who are you then? The woman says.
I'm Lady Lan. And who are you?
My name is Alyonka Konstantinovich, and I now am petitioning our burgomaster to end this plague of dead upon us.
And
You want Irina?
Unfortunately, it is the only way. And she looks for a moment at the woman next to the burgomaster and then casts her eyes down. It is the only way that we will be free of him, I believe.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah, I'm not doing anything.
If so, this man, this lord, if you believe
The devil, Strahd.
Yes, the devil, right. So if he is the devil, why... I guess I'm confused about why you think he would be telling you the truth and why he would honor his end of the bargain and actually call everything off once he has this woman. Would it not be more like the devil to deceive, to try to sow discord and encourage infighting and make you tear yourselves apart from the inside out, and then even in the event that he gets what he wants, he still
sort of
burns it
shakes
all
her
down
head.
anyway?
And speaks to interrupt you. This is not his way. He is truthful. He is our Lord. I do not love him. I fear him. But he has been an administrator of this land, and he does not lie. His cruelty is constrained in this way.
That's a very interesting trait for a lord to have, but I'll take your word for it because there's nothing else I can do right now.
What does he want with Irina? What will become of her once you hand her over?
The man standing next to her says, "She will be taken to his castle, and then she will be his. And I cannot let this happen, not to my daughter." And to this, Alyonka says, "Oh, she's not even your daughter. She was found. This is... She's not one of us. She's not a Barovian. Not from the village, anyway. And if you defend her over us, then you're not one either."
Has, I know we're not from here, and thus our input should not be taken with we're just trying to figure things out. Has anyone asked Irina what she thinks?
Irina says, I thank you, because often I am treated more like a piece of property, but I will do what the village decides. It is my duty. She says to her dad, yes, it is my duty to defend us, but truthfully, I am with this one. I do not know that offering me up will appease the devil of the castle, because he is never appeased. Alyonka is looking for answers in a world that has none to offer. That is what I believe. Turning on our own will, I think, it will not solve this. The woman at the head of the crowd takes another step forward and she says, what these outsiders say doesn't matter. Look at us. We're suffering every night, almost dead to the last one. Please. We need a solution. There is no sense to this. At this, the burgomaster takes a step forward and says, how dare you! And he nearly crumples from his wounds. His daughter catches him and before he falls and hisses at the crowd not to lay a finger on her father. At this point, the mob begins to advance on them, and Irina looks to you and says, please help. They will overrun us. This is no different from the dead.
I think in a moment of panic and like not quite knowing what to do, Father Esquivel is gonna react by like reaching out to this, the sort of power and authority of God invested in him and cast calm emotions on the crowd.
There you go.
Oh, tight.
Yeah, nice.
Do you say anything to accompany it?
Yeah.
Latin.
Calm the fuck down.
Please, you should approach this as rational, thinking people. There must be some better way to deal with this than just throwing one of your own to the wolves.
And is this a saving throw?
Yes. Each humanoid in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose within range must make a charisma saving throw. And they can choose to fail if they want.
And what is the DC?
I'm going to choose to fail it. I want to calm down a little bit.
DC is 14.
We might just like cast this on you periodically when
Yeah.
you're having a rough time.
Yeah.
So all of them seem to have a sort of collective shudder go through them, but in particular Alyonka, who is closing in and says, what are you?
I'm a man of God. I gesture at my clothing.
I have not felt his presence here in a very long time. But I must confess that his word speaks true through you. Perhaps there's nothing to be gained by giving up this young woman. Perhaps you're right. One more night. Give it one more. And then what?
And then we leave. And those who wish to leave may leave with us.
But where do we go?
To Vallaki.
And the roads? It's 2 days' journey. How will we survive?
I have survived many days on roads.
You saw what only a glimpse of the abilities that we have just now.
She gestures and pushes down on the arms of the man at her side who's holding an axe. Very well. Yes, it's not right to attack our own, she says, looking at Irina. And the mob slowly disperses from the burgomaster's manor, leaving just this sort of scarred and charred building. And
Can I ask one thing of the sort of representative of the village before she leaves with everyone?
yes,
Sort of like, I want to try to approach her, like, not in a public way, but in a more quiet way. You said you haven't felt his presence in a long time. Were you able to feel him before?
maybe as a child, but most of us have given up on that by now as well.
But as a child, he would... You would see his works as plainly as we see each other now.
On occasion, yet some say that that was the remnants of the older gods. The ones who looked after this valley before everything else came.
Thank you. Like, Father Esquivel gets freaked out. Like, not in a good way. I mean, that seems like very bad news to him.
The burgomaster says, I can see you're disturbed by their behavior. Please, they're confused, but they're Barovians all the same. We must forgive. And who are you?
Travelers. We don't really have a collective name yet.
We've agreed to help you, and we've spoken with your son and have agreed to help tonight.
To Ismark.
Yes.
Yes, he promised that we could stay here this evening.
Of course. And he catches himself and gestures. Please come in. And thank you. We may have been lost if not for you.
No thanks are necessary.
As he ushers you in, the interior of the mansion is pretty well furnished. The fixtures do show a lot of signs of wear, and there are sort of noticeable signs that this place has been under siege, or at least defended, as though they expect that. So the windows are boarded up, and there are holy symbols in many of the rooms. There's lunch that's stewing in a pot over the hearth in the the great room. And Irina asks, "Are you hungry?"
Yes.
We just had some food.
She says, I'm sorry for the sparse meal. It's a turnip and rabbit stew.
Oh, rabbit, an identified meat. That sounds
Yes.
lovely.
Well, 2 basins then. And she begins to scoop it. And the burgomaster asks you how you got here.
Well, we all came from the same inn down the road, just outside of this lovely country here.
Irina sort of looks up as she's pouring the stew. From outside Barovia.
Yes, it was called the Morning Inn. Do you know it?
I don't know anything outside of Barovia.
That is fair. I shouldn't have asked that question. It was quite silly of me. Well, it's at the crossroads outside Barovia, not very far from here. And
That's incredible.
we were all at the same inn, trying to book passage to or through the town, and sort of wound up all in each other's company when we were waylaid on the road in our sleep, and find ourselves here now.
I just got lost.
Lost.
Yes, I was on the road and got lost.
Well, this is quite unfortunate because, as I'm sure you have gathered, there is no leaving here.
Sort of. That it is bad news to hear that confirmed, but I think I can speak for all of us when I say that that is definitely what we had assumed.
Sort of the vibe, yeah.
It's not just the wolves, which I think you can hear, but the mist. It's been here for centuries, since my great-grandfather. Before then, even.
Speaking of wolves, I saw when we were attacked at the gates by some wolves, and I noticed one of them was behaving quite strangely. Have you ever seen or heard any of, like hunters and trappers who are hereabouts talk of a large wolf that seemed very intelligent for a wolf?
Not uncommon, you may believe. It could be a man that turns into beast. Or it could be a man that takes the form of the beast at his own volition. Could be the devil himself. He is known to take an interest in anything unusual within his lands, and the appearance of newcomers surely meets that bar.
If he appears as a wolf, would he also appear as a raven?
He inhales and thinks, and Irina says, "We believe that the ravens are a good omen."
Even if they seem to be taking a sort of say you don't have any food or shiny objects in your hands, and the ravens are still watching you intently. That's good?
We cannot account for the actions of beasts here. They sometimes seem to have an intelligence, as you've seen before, but the ravens are sometimes said to intervene on behalf of good people.
The dead.
I'll take any good news I can get.
How do you define good people?
Well, people who oppose the devil and everything he stands for.
It's a pretty low bar, I suppose. But I'll take it.
The dead that the devil sends. How have you been fighting them? What kills them?
She takes out her rapier, sort of with a flourish, showing that she has some skill. One of these. The fire bottles that we've made. A brick. A shovel. Anything we can get our hands on, really. How do you kill them? Where you're from?
Where I'm from, the
We
dead
don't-
stay dead.
We don't have that problem.
Envious. I'm envious of this. The burgomaster says, I fear that my son will soon take my place. What was your impression of him?
Seems a
He
good
seems
man.
adequate.
He's shouldered with a great deal of responsibility and guilt.
We've seen him respond to a bit of adversity with some degree of dignity and strength.
You can certainly handle criticism.
He smiles. Well, maybe he will live down that nickname they have for him after all.
The lesser.
Oh, that one. I thought we were going to learn a more horrible.
Being forthright, maybe I should have been more discerning before naming him after a great hero. It was inevitable, but then again, maybe he will live up to it.
That's not the church bells, is it?
There's Donovich in the church.
Oh.
Always.
Oh, is that
Need
time?
to go to the
No. He's tolling the afternoon hour. Yes, I fear that Ismark does have some guilt and some shame, but when that man came to tell us about the attacks, Ismark was not the only one who was prepared to defend the town. Yet I do believe that his speech stirred their hearts, and maybe he shouldn't have.
His resolve is strong.
Yes. Sometimes that is what you need. And Irina says, Doru should never have attacked the devil to begin with. And the burgomaster says, yes, this family carries much of the accountability, and yet this would be required of us anyway, as the stewards of this village. Doru, the son of the priest, he went because he had an interest in my daughter, and, well, so did the devil. So did Strahd.
Popular lady.
Irina gives you a smile.
Do a little wave and a fingernail falls off.
You like try to brush your hair. It's like
Just nosebleed. Just nosebleed.
It was strange. He had no warning, no... I think some jealousy, but I don't know why he would do something so rash. He took 24 of our young men and women and the scholar who was staying here as well, and they had gotten into this argument. And then they went together. It was strange. And Kolyan, the burgomaster, says, over a spoon of soup, "Come, there's something I've been wanting to solve, and I could use the perspective of someone from outside, far outside, I might add, the village. Will you indulge me?"
Sure.
So he nods toward a set of parchment, and you can make out a map of the surrounding area. It's labeled as Barovia, and then he points to this little spot that is the town, and he says, "This is us. This is Barovia, the village, I mean." And you can see, and there's a line going through it, east-west, and then there's woods to the north and south, and then a river to the southwest. And he says, "Each night, dozens of the formerly dead lay siege to our defenses. They kill some, they wound many more, but they don't attack all at once. They come in groups, in waves, and each strikes at the defenses separately, almost at random. What do you make of that?"
Perhaps only so many dead can be animated at once?
Could be.
Is there somewhere or somehow this devil is procuring the dead? Is there a graveyard nearby, or...
We have a cemetery, but
it's
the dead
within
do
the-
not come from there. They come from...
Why not, though?
I don't know.
Do you recognize any of these dead?
I have not. And he looks at Irina and she says, "I have not, no."
Do they seem
Do
recently dead? Or...
Varying states of decay and putrefaction.
when you kill them,
Yes.
are there any we could look at?
We burn them after, so I'm afraid to say you will look at some of them tonight.
From which direction do they come?
All directions, but in patches. And also, although dozens attack each night, we have scouts, we have advance soldiers, well, would-be soldiers, and they report that hundreds more lurk in the woods around us, maybe thousands. If they had attacked all at once, we would be overrun, and yet, seemingly by the grace of Christ, they have not. Why?
Does I suppose the devil wants you to suffer.
That would be like him.
As
Well, maybe we can find a way out somehow. Tell me, you said you intend to travel to Vallaki. Is that true?
Likely, yes.
Would you like this map?
That would be
Absolutely.
helpful, yes.
Okay, you guys can have this
Yeah.
map then.
Oh,
What if we had said
Oh,
no?
shit.
Then you would have spent
So
all this
dang.
time making this thing for nothing.
Should we
I
look at
guess.
it?
Yeah.
You can. He
Holy
says,
crap.
and I can write for you.
Wow.
It goes all the way to the end.
I can
Oh,
write
damn.
for you a letter.
That's really cool.
Castle.
You can bring it to Baron Valakovich in Vallaki, or Kreskov in Kresk, and they will know. In fact, let me do this now. And he writes a letter that I'll write with better handwriting next time, to say, you can hear him saying out loud, I humbly ask that you provide the bearer of this letter with what aid you can. Believe in their purpose, assist in their endeavors, and shelter and counsel them if you are able. Please extend every courtesy you would afford a friend of mine. With utmost respect, Kolyan Indirovich. And he rolls it up, seals it, and gives it to, sort of holds it out.
I'm not going to take it.
Okay, he gives it to Lady Lon. Irina says, you hear the church bells again. We have just a bit of time to rest. I can show you to the rooms upstairs.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Will you tell me more of what is beyond here?
What would you like to know?
Everything.
Well, there's more sun, generally. Not where I'm from.
I have seen it. The sun, I mean. Sometimes.
you don't remember. How young were you when you came here?
Oh, I'm from here. Not the village, but I think I'm from Barovia.
Oh,
The world outside is full of people like the world here. It is not that different.
Oh,
Yes,
that's good.
there's still suffering and death.
Still lords and people who struggle to make a life under their boot.
Though you do not have these soulless people. Or at least I have not encountered them.
I can't
Everyone
say.
is like you and me.
More
To
or
a
less.
point.
Is there good soup?
The food is, thus far in my experience, better outside.
Even better
Yes.
than at the Blood on the Vine?
No slight, meant. But yes, quite better food.
I should very much like to try it.
I would like that for you.
Yes. Do you have many potatoes?
Sure.
They are sort of a recent import to our area of the world. But yes, they've taken on quite quickly.
They've not
very
been here very
popular.
long either.
I don't think they would have made it to that place. Not where I am from.
Oh. Well,
We
you
don't
can
need
have them
them.
here.
I'm so sorry.
And are there dogs?
Lady Lon kind of.
That one might be something of a sore subject. Would you like to meet my cat?
I'd love to.
Are you more of a dog person?
I've been meaning to ask. He's perched. She's
Cat
perched
sitting
there.
on my head. Yes. This is Maury.
Oh, Maury. Well, it's very nice to meet you. These are your... Well, this is your one room. Maybe while you're sleeping, I don't want to bother, but I can ask you a few more things.
Sure.
Father Esquivel, you sit down on the bed. She says, there's not been a guest here since the scholar was staying and before he left with Doru.
There was another outsider came here?
He'd been in Barovia for some time, but he was an outsider to this village, and before that an outsider to Barovia.
What manner of scholar was this?
And like us.
Well, he had maybe animals, because he had a creature with him. It sort of looked like a man, but small and very hirsute.
Eight.
Yay! Give me
Like this, and sort of kind of face.
I believe she might be referring to a monkey.
Yes!
Called
Monkey,
it a
because I
monkey.
thought that was like a description. But, like monkey. But, no. That's what he called it. A monkey.
Had a monkey with him.
Alanik was his name.
The scholar or the monkey?
The scholar.
Alanic.
Yes.
A-L-L-O.
Alanik.
Nailed it.
Such a satisfying feeling when you're like,
Especially for
spell
someone who
that
can't
shit
read.
right on the first try.
And
The monkey didn't... Now,
I don't.
I imagine
didn't ask.
you won't think this is a silly question. Others might. The monkey didn't talk or anything.
No. It was an animal.
Regular monkey.
Telepathically to Morgan, I'm like, talking monkeys, ridiculous.
I think all of you, except for Lady Lon, have only ever seen a picture of a monkey. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Lon, you've seen a monkey.
Yeah. Horrible creatures.
Yes, he came to study our history and flora, I believe. Very intense.
Well, was he looking for anything in particular?
He seemed to have a general curiosity, but what was interesting is the night before, he had a furious row with Doru. And then the next day, they left together. And others. For the castle. For Castle Ravenloft.
Did others think he was curious that a scholar would choose to go on what seems to me, at least, to be a kind of military,
Non-scholarly pursuit.
a dangerous excursion?
Being honest, he seemed to be much more capable than the boys who went with Doru otherwise.
Used to traveling, I suppose. Did you hear what they were fighting about?
No, just that it was loud. That was shortly after my first visit from Strahd, and this is what upset Doru so much.
Oh. So, Strahd has come to the village before.
Not just once. He's our lord.
I see.
And as you sit down on the bed, you hear a crinkle sound and instinctively reach out, and you see a few torn pages from a book.
I read them pages, baby.
As you pull them out, Irina says, this was the book that Doru had. This was torn out, I think. I'll read to you. I'll deliver this text. I left it inside, but I'll read to you everything it says.
Or maybe we save it for next time?
Well, I'll just read this, and then I think that'll be the end of today's session.
Okay.
In some shadowed corners of the world, the vampire reigns as a fearsome predator. Beyond mere bloodlust, these creatures are cursed with a range of abilities and weaknesses that make them as enigmatic as they are terrifying. Their bodies are resilient to mundane weapons, shrugging off blows that would fell most mortals, and regenerating even grievous wounds in a matter of moments. They move with unnatural grace, their senses sharply attuned to the whispers of the night. But it is in their supernatural abilities that their true horror lies. They can bend the will of others to their own, ensnaring friend and foe with but a gaze and a whisper. They can shift form with the ease of thought, becoming bats, wolves, or even a sinister mist that creeps beneath doorways and through cracks. And those their fangs kill become vampire spawn, ravenous creatures with a vampire's hunger for blood. These creatures are not wholly invincible, however, possessing a tapestry of strengths woven with fatal weaknesses. Sunlight and running water can end their cursed existence, and wooden stakes through the heart will paralyze them as they sleep. They recoil from the sight of certain holy symbols and cannot enter a residence without an invitation. They bear neither shadow nor reflection and must return to their coffins, crypts, or graves to rest by day. It is said that the bloodlust of these creatures is an unquenchable fire that burns within their undead hearts. The young and newly turned are slaves to this craving, often losing themselves in a frenzy at the mere scent of blood. But those who have walked the night for centuries, as well as those with indomitable focus and will, may learn to temper this fire. Those who do possess the rare ability to conceal their monstrous nature, retracting and exposing their fangs at will, a sign that the monster within is held at bay, if only while the vampire allows. To create a new vampire, a vampire must fully drain the blood of its victim without killing it, a torturous and careful process that can often take multiple nights. For some vampires, this process is a practical means of creating fresh and powerful thralls. For others, it presents a sadistic opportunity to slowly break their victim's will. Some vampires, in the latter camp, may even appear as an intermittent predator in the night, hunting their target over days or weeks before finally ending their suffering. Irina says, "This is the book that obsessed him, Van Richten's Guide. She says, get some rest. The ominous bell will ring in a few hours. And take these with you. And she puts down a crate of fire bottles. And we'll pick up there next week.
Yay.
Nice.
Damn.
Good job, all.
Damn.
Thank you, viewers, for viewing.
4 pages of notes.
I was just gonna say, I made it to page 4.
Bye, all.
Bye.
Oh, man.
Not much is known about the sharp-featured androgynous figure come to Barovia in a high-coloured violet coat with closely shorn hair. Rowan Domnalik makes himself of use to the nobles they travel with, entertaining with a classic tune and his high ethereal voice, not to mention a good bit of gossip with the ladies of the court. Rowan may well imitate the aloof manner of a courtier, but just beneath a practiced facade of calm rages a great anger. And there's something else about them too, something unsettling, ancient, and cold.
Father Esquivel is an ordained priest, sent far from home on missionary work. Though his vestments are threadbare, his hygiene limited, and his ecclesiastical knowledge a bit lacking, he is empathetic and friendly enough. He's on the younger side for a priest, but whatever his life before the cloth, it must weigh on him heavily, for physically he seems aged well beyond his years. He claims to be happy in company and sharing the difficulties of the road, but you might get the sense his smile is feigned.
Even while petting her ornery pet Pekingese Monto, Lady Lan never smiles. A severe Chinese lady dressed in elaborate silks and other finery, Lady Lan never seems to have a hair or jewel out of place. Despite having traveled many months through the deserts of the Silk Road and faced all manner of challenges, you will never see her with a smudge in her makeup. And yet, anyone who spends enough time with her will notice an anger glimmering behind this otherwise impenetrable exterior. Something must give.
Eric von Eggenberg is a pale young boy, his skin almost translucent in the dim light. His eyes, the color of a stormy sea, hold a lifetime of unspoken sorrows, fixed upon the arabesques of the moldering wallpaper, seeking patterns that do not exist.